There is no one currently in the bantamweight division that can hold a candle to Merab Dvalishvili. Let's see, he's already dispatched the top three fighters with relative ease. You can say that against Umar Nurmagomedov, he had some moments where he was in trouble. He did lose the first two rounds, and people were saying that Umar might be the champion in that fight. But still, he made a remarkable comeback in the last three rounds and won that fight. And he overwhelmed Umar Nurmagomedov, with pressure, relentless wrestling pressure. And that was the key, that has been the key of his victories. His relentless, constant pressure, his relentless takedowns, and let's see. Let's see who can stand up to that relentless takedown. Because there's no one in this division. He's not faced just one fighter among the top four. Sorry, he's not faced two fighters among the top four. He's going to be facing Cory Sandhagen at UFC 320. He's not faced Song Yadong because Song Yadong has not climbed up the ranks to earn a title shot against Merab Dvalishvili. So, in bantamweight, if John Anik said that Aljamain Sterling is the bantamweight GOAT, even if he lost in the first minute against Sean O'Malley, he did lose, not in the first minute, in the second round. But still, John Anik considered Aljamain Sterling as the GOAT because he defended his title thrice and he had many victories at bantamweight. What would you consider Merab Dvalishvili? He's already defended his title twice, right? He's dispatched Sean O'Malley, who was seen as the next superstar, comprehensively in both the fights. First fight, it was basically outclassing Sean O'Malley in the wrestling department. Second fight was similar, but he actually got a submission victory over him. Merab doesn't do that quite often. Barring his domination, he doesn't get finishes, and that has been his criticism, his lone criticism in the UFC, in MMA. Now, even if he defeats Cory Sandhagen, which probably he will, 90% he will, if he chooses to stay back at bantamweight, what more does he want to achieve? And who is he going to be fighting? He's probably going to face Peter Yan. He's probably going to face Umar Nurmagomedov once he comes back and gets a victory over somebody. But still, it's done and dusted. This basically defeating Cory Sandhagen is kind of completing a cycle, right? You've run through most of the division. You've run through the top three, right? And now you're going to be facing the number 4 ranked and eventually defeat him as well. And right now in the UFC, double weight division champions are blooming dime a dozen, are not dime a dozen, but blooming dime a dozen. You get that opportunity to become a 2-weight division champion quite easily, which was not available, you would say, in the yesteryears. Anderson Silva was in the middleweight division, was winning, defending his title year after year after year, and still he did not move to light heavyweight. Now, maybe it was his decision, maybe he wasn't given the opportunity, but then becoming a 2-weight division champion was difficult. You did not get the opportunity so easily. GSP did not get the opportunity freely. Even John Jones did not get an opportunity to move to heavyweight that easily. But now it's easy, right? If you are a champion and if you defend your title twice, thrice, people think about moving up. Magomed Ankalaev is already thinking about moving up without defending his title. Yet, of course, he is going to defend it at UFC 320, but he's thinking about making that move. Ilya Topuria made that move only after one defense. Of course, he made that move because weight cutting was taking its toll on him, and that's why he said, I'm going to be moving at light, as in 2 lightweight division, and he got an immediate title shot. He had defended his title once. Deserved, undeserved, that's a different story. But he had defended his title only once, and he got the immediate title shot at lightweight. So, considering that fact, if he beats Corey Sandhagen, and if Alexander Volkanovski defends his title against Lerone Murphy, that would be an incredible fight. Merab versus Alexander Volkanovski. Merab, the bantamweight GOAT, of course, against the featherweight GOAT, Alexander Volkanovski. GOAT versus GOAT. That's a sellable fight. That's probably the biggest fight after Islam Makhachev versus JDM, or Islam Makhachev versus maybe Shaukat, maybe Ilya Topuria. So, to be an all-time GOAT, the GOAT, actual GOAT, Merab has to go to the lightweight division. And it would be a tragedy if he doesn't go to the lightweight division and doesn't become a GOAT. Look at his dominance. His skill is unmatched. His cardio is unmatched. And even if we consider the lightweight division currently, the featherweight division, I've been saying lightweight, the featherweight division currently in its current state, you have Alexander Volkanovski, the featherweight GOAT, as the champion right now. You have Mauzar Evloev, who's injured quite a lot of times, and it sucks that we can't see Evloev versus Volkanovski. But even then, if you see the top 5, Merab easily beats, I think, at least 2, if not 3 fighters in that top 5. He easily beats Yair Rodriguez, according to me. He easily beats Lerone Murphy, who's next in line to face Volkanovski. He won't fight Aljamain Sterling, right? But that would be an interesting fight, to see two friends going up against each other, knowing each other's game, and seeing who comes out on top. So that will be interesting. But that's not going to happen. He probably beats Diego Lopez. I would say he does beat Diego Lopez, considering Diego Lopez had a really, really difficult time against Movsar Evloev. And Merab is going to be similar. He's going to be pressurizing him, taking him down, and then keeping him there. So I would say he beats Lopez, he beats Rodriguez, he beats Murphy. Sterling he's not going to fight. And Evloev versus Merab Dvalishvili is going to be really, really interesting, because we saw Evloev versus Sterling, what happened in that fight. And I would say Merab is a better wrestler than Aljo. So let's see what happens in that fight. And of course, he faces Alexander Volkanovski. He takes down the featherweight GOAT. He's already the bantamweight GOAT. If he takes down the featherweight GOAT, who is going to argue that Merab is the GOAT? And then there have been so many GOATs. Like, the GOATest of the GOAT will be John Jones inside the cage. And there are fighters like GSP, there's Khabib Nurmagomedov, etc. But the dominance, those cardio, the stamina, the streak that Merab is on, I would definitely put him at least in the top 3 of that GOAT list if he goes to the featherweight division and beats Alexander Volkanovski. And that is what he should do if he wins, when he wins at UFC 320.